Over 30 years ago, Rwanda faced an unimaginable tragedy. The 1994 genocide against the Tutsi claimed over 1 million lives, shattered communities, and left deep scars in the nation's soul. But what followed was a journey few thought possible. With courage, unity, and vision, the people of Rwanda rebuilt their country, restoring hope, rebuilding trust, and creating new foundations for peace and progress. Today, Rwanda is vibrant, growing, and full of promise. A strong economy, accountable and accessible public services, over 60% representation of women in parliament, the highest in the world, and over 80% health insurance coverage, Rwanda's journey of progress has been remarkable. From the onset, UNDP has walked this journey alongside the country. This is a story of development, progress, and impact, made possible through collaboration, resilience, and a shared vision for a better tomorrow. Change often happens slowly, almost unnoticed. But when we look back over time, our stories become clearer, helping us understand where we've been and shape where we're going. This is part of the story of Rwanda's remarkable journey, the story of a nation that chose to rise from tragedy to a path of progress.
There was a lot that was supposed to be done around strengthening the judiciary of Rwanda, because a lot had happened. There was a lot that was supposed to building human capital of people to start working in the judiciary. UNDP has been very much supportive in infrastructural developments of the courts.
To rebuild itself, Rwanda chose a path rooted in its people, one grounded in courage, community, and reconciliation. Gacaca, a community-based justice system, brought survivors and perpetrators face to face, not just for accountability, but for healing. With over 1.9 million cases handled in 10 years, Gacaca became one of the most ambitious and successful justice initiatives in the world.
The Gacaca system aimed at achieving transnational and restorative justice. There was swift processing of cases, community involvement in the justice process. There was victims' opportunity to learn the truth of what happened, and it was a chance for the perpetrators to seek forgiveness.
The foundations of Rwanda's recovery were hinged on strengthening institutions and restoring governance. Rwanda began implementing decentralization reforms with the adoption of the National Decentralization Policy in 2000, followed by territorial reform in 2006. Over time, institutions such as the Rwanda Governance Board brought governance closer to citizens.
Just going back to the fundamental mandate of the Rwanda Governance Board, the RGB, which has as its role to promote principles of good governance and service delivery to the citizens in an inclusive way, and to monitor this good governance in public and private sector and service delivery that is inclusive of all people and that promotes citizen participation. There was a lot of capacity strengthening of media sector and the practitioners and for the professionalization of the sector. As a result, we can say that a total of 64 media houses were supported. They built the capacity of over 850 journalists, and more than 500 stories were published through this program. And it has contributed significantly to the community's access to information. We have something that is called the Rwanda Media Barometer, which is part of our evidence-based governance policies. You know, we monitor the barometer, how community has access to information, how the media sector is performing. And this is also a research project that is supported by UNDP. And through this, we were able to see tangible results of the DDAG program in capacity strengthening of the media sector. It went from 76.4% in 2018 to 86.5 in 2024.
There is also a citizen report card that we do across the country where we engage citizens to understand how they appreciate the governance practices in their communities and how the government institutions deliver services to them.
Rwanda's justice system embraced innovation to increase access and efficiency. In 2016, the country introduced its integrated electronic case management system.
The sector was closely coordinated, but then we created also an integrated electronic case management system. So meaning for penal cases, we had to go all the way from the investigation, prosecution, then to courts, and then the correctional facilities. So once the pandemic hit, the justice sector didn't stop operating and functioning. So we continued because we already had the system for almost 3 years. So that's when the adoption of online hearing and the use of different technologies, video conferencing technologies, to be able to hold hearings online. And that, of course, resulted into the e-court.
Ndi mu bantu bagize amahirwe yo kuyiburaniraho mu bihe bitari byoroshye. Mu bihe bitari byoroshye kuko icyo gihe twari dutangiye periode ya COVID, byari kuba impamvu ikomeye cyane yo kuba nkazaburana ntinze, kandi birazwi neza yuko hari principe ivuga ko ubutabera butinze si ubutabera.
Building on that progress, Rwanda adopted national policies on alternative dispute resolution and criminal justice in 2023, advancing a system that is more restorative, community-driven, and responsive to people's needs. The ADR Center in Kigali stands as a milestone in that vision, offering mediation, plea bargaining, and community-based conflict resolution.
ADR has been a game changer in providing justice in the judiciary. I would just take an example of the just concluded judiciary 2023-2024. We had over 2,199 cases that were settled through mediation. That is something that is very positive, not only on the aspect of helping the fight against backlogs, but also bringing the parties that are warring to unity again.
On behalf of the Government of Rwanda, I extend my deepest gratitude to UNDP. Your partnership has been instrumental in advancing key reforms that have enhanced access to justice, efficiency, and transparency, as well as accountability in our country. You've been very good partners in this journey.
In Rwanda, development has not come at the expense of nature. In 2006, the country established the Rwanda Environment Management Authority, REMA, to oversee environmental regulations and management. In 2008, Rwanda became one of the first countries in the world to ban single-use plastic bags and bottles. Since then, environment and climate change have been integrated in national policies, medium and long-term development strategies, including Vision 2050. To promote sustainable rural settlements, UNDP, through REMA, supported the establishment of the Green Village model, integrating environmental sustainability with poverty reduction. Its success led the government to scale up from 4 pilot villages to 130 nationwide, with growing interest for further expansion under the National IDP Model Village program. In 2011, Rwanda adopted the National Green Growth and Climate Resilience Strategy. UNDP supported its revision in 2023 and worked with the country to develop key instruments like climate budget tagging and other frameworks to strengthen climate governance and accelerate national development progress, including the implementation of its nationally determined contribution. In 2012, the country launched the Rwanda Green Fund to promote green growth and climate resilience. So far, Rwanda Green Fund has mobilized over $350 million and financed 114 investments, creating more than 180,000 green jobs. The country went on to set up climate finance mechanisms, including the Green Investment Facility, also known as Ireme Invest, in 2022, and the Carbon Market Framework in 2023.
The UNDP has been a long-standing partner of the Rwanda Green Fund. We developed a resource mobilization strategy in 2018. Another example I can give is the recently launched Ireme Invest. This actually goes all the way back in 2018 as well. With the support of UNDP, we actually started doing a market assessment of what at the time we were calling a green bank.
Rwanda has enhanced its disaster risk management by upgrading weather stations and improving weather data management. These efforts have led to better early warning systems and strengthened community resilience against floods and landslides. In Rwanda's Amayaga region, the Green Amayaga project was launched in 2020 with support from the Global Environment Facility and UNDP. The project aimed to restore over 263,000 hectares of degraded landscapes, create 150,000 green jobs, and provide 60,000 households with energy-efficient cookstoves.
The intervention area of the Green Amayaga is in the Mayaga region, and here we are working in 4 different districts which were very much vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, specifically drought, and also because the biodiversity of the ecosystem had been severely degraded.
Progress has also been made in hazardous waste management, safeguarding health and the environment, while accelerating the shift to a circular economy.
These achievements have been made possible because of strong and consistent partnerships. UNDP has worked alongside Rwanda for decades, supporting us to design innovative policies, mobilize resources, and pilot solutions that demonstrate how development and environmental sustainability can go hand in hand.
Rwanda also piloted several innovative initiatives to fight climate change impacts like clean cooking energy solutions and hydroponic farming, where farmers now grow fodder using 90% less water, cows produce more milk, and their waste generates clean cooking fuel through home biogas systems.
Bwa mbere na mbere biogaze sinari nyizi. Biogaze nayibonye aho uyu mushinga ugereye inaha. Namenye uko bacana kuri biogaze ntabyo narinzi. Namenye uko babasha gukoresha iyi fumbire urimo uhinga ntabyo narinzi.
Mbere ntabwo twashobora kubona amase twashyira muri biogaze. Ariko aho ubwatsi bubonekeye amase araboneka byo. Ku buryo dushobora gushyira muri biogaze nayo ikaducanira. Nkaho byikubye kabiri. Ko hari inka yakamwaga amaritiro 4 yakamwa litiro 6 mu gitondo nimugoroba zikamwa izindi enye urumva ko byiyongereye bikomeye. Yakamwaga 1 n'igice 3 n'igice byariyongereye.
Rwanda's development has also been grounded in sound economic governance. With UNDP's support, the country has strengthened national planning systems, from data-driven tools like the National Human Development Reports and Rwanda Sustainable Finance Roadmap to smart tax initiatives that boost national revenue. Strategic efforts continue to power Rwanda's inclusive growth.
UNDP's partnership has been instrumental in these 2 key areas. Number 1 being in terms of sustainable finance. With the support of UNDP, we launched the Rwanda Sustainable Finance Roadmap in 2022, both here in Rwanda as well as internationally at COP27. And this really has served as a blueprint for the sector in terms of how we green Rwanda's financial sector, but even beyond that, what policies and instruments we are introducing and deploying to be able to really accelerate capital and resource mobilization towards green and sustainable projects. And on the other hand, UNDP's partnership, we've also collaborated on financial technology, pushing for financial technology towards economic empowerment and driving financial inclusion.
Over the past 3 decades, Rwanda has pursued a bold and ambitious vision of transformation, lifting millions out of poverty, strengthening institutions, and setting our nation firmly on the path to sustainable development. From supporting the early years of public financial management reforms to today's focus on green and inclusive growth, UNDP has been a trusted partner in aligning global expertise with Rwanda's homegrown solutions. This partnership has been critical in mobilizing resources, strengthening capacities, and ensuring that development leaves no one behind.
UNDP was one of the first ones to believe in this vision of more enhanced South-to-South cooperation, as well as triangular cooperation. At the very onset of Rwanda cooperation, just about 6 years ago, UNDP and us entered into a partnership that allowed us to put the knowledge, the development knowledge that we have online into a platform called Rwandapedia. And this was the first of many undertakings we had with UNDP, but really one that was defining, because ever since we've been able to share our experience with people even without them coming to us. This became even more important when we had the COVID-19 right after we started. So having that form of partnership was very instrumental in allowing us to continue to serve our clients even when most of our countries were under lockdown.
At the heart of Rwanda's progress are its people. The country made space for youth to rise, for women to lead, and for every voice to be heard. Initiatives like Youth Connect have created over 30,000 jobs and scaled to over 30 countries.
From 2009 to 2013, when I served here as governance advisor, personally, those were some of the most fulfilling years in my professional career and journey to leadership in the UN system. The country has taken a deliberate or made a deliberate attempt with intention to actually sustain and build the capacity of these young populations. And so for us as UNDP, we take pride in this, and this is why we still support intentionally the Youth Connect initiative that really prides itself in looking at the example of Rwandan youth and making sure that this same example of Rwandan youth being entrepreneurs, taking advantage of opportunities being provided by government, that we can take this and sell it to other African countries. And this is why the Youth Connect is now caught on like fire. And so far, I think over 30 African countries have Youth Connect chapters. This, for me, is remarkable.
In 2022, the government of Rwanda, in collaboration with UNDP and support from the European Union, launched Aguka Youth Entrepreneurship Program, which means expand in Kinyarwanda.
Hari amahirwe noneho yo kuba ufite igitekerezo, ufite good idea ya project, ukaba ugiye kwiga muri kaminuza ariko project uyifite. Niyo waba warangije ariko project yawe iguhora kuzamo nk'igitekerezo. Niyo mpamvu hari abo dufatanya UNDP, European Union, turi guteganya ikintu cyitwa Aguka, aho igitekerezo cyawe ugomba kukifata ukagisobanura neza, tukagufasha kucyubaka, umushinga kubakwa neza, kikaba gishobora gutunganywa kugeza ubwo kiguhaye akazi kikagaha n'abandi.
Rwanda's Gender Equality Seal program is now setting standards in the private sector, promoting equity beyond public institutions.
We are very proud to be part of the Gender Seal certification program. It has enabled us to be more bold and more proactive about the changes in institution. Number one is we've instituted a lot of policy change to make sure that BRD becomes gender friendly, but beyond policies, we've looked at what can we do to unlock the power of choice for women.
I'm proud to highlight today that UNDP Rwanda was at the forefront of co-creating Kigali Institute of Science and Technology, where through donor partners, especially the Netherlands, we managed to put in place a basket fund for creating the Kigali Institute of Science and Technology, which today I think is a flagship university in terms of technology. Now, still at the capacity building level, we also have the University of Rwanda in Butare, which was lacking teachers. So we co-create again with the Ministry of Education and put it in place a diaspora token program, whereby we recruited the top of the top teachers from the sub-region. Parallelly, we put in a system where we were training young Rwandans who are performing well within the University of Rwanda. Through a partnership with Maastricht University, we are creating the Rwandan capacity building institution, which was connected again with the Ministry of Public Service.
At the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when the world stood still, Rwanda moved with purpose. Swift digital innovation ensured services continued and lives were protected. In the face of uncertainty, young people stepped forward not as victims of disruption, but as drivers of innovative solutions.
As the world came to a standstill during the COVID-19 pandemic, Rwanda chose to act with resolve and purpose. Our youth and startups stepped up as engines of innovation. Technology adoption accelerated rapidly. In those critical moments, UNDP emerged as a trusted partner, delivering innovative solutions such as anti-epidemic and disinfection robots deployed across treatment centers and public spaces to protect health professionals and the broader public. As part of the COVID response measures, the Government of Rwanda, with the support of UNDP, developed Ngirankugire system that enabled the effective and equitable distribution of food and essential supplies to the most vulnerable people. Innovation is the heartbeat of Rwanda's future. When we launched Hunger Pitch Fest in 2021, UNDP was there, not just as a partner, but as a co-architect of opportunity. Beyond Hunger Pitch Fest, UNDP has played a critical role in strengthening Rwanda's innovation ecosystem through initiatives like the Unipod, which is the University Innovation Pod, that fosters campus-based innovation and supports students in transforming their ideas into viable businesses. UNDP is also at the forefront of advancing emerging technologies, especially artificial intelligence. They have supported us in setting in place the foundational works towards the creation of Rwanda's National AI Institute.
Programs like Timbuktu, headquartered in Rwanda, provide early-stage capital and host innovation hubs across the continent.
Thanks to UNDP and other partners, they have made it real. It's no longer a dream, an idea. It's there, it's working. And we have to put in more energy and resources and ideas and, scale it up to reach wherever we intend that to reach, to benefit from the meaning of all that it carries with it.
UNDP began its work in Rwanda in 1977. The 1994 genocide against the Tutsi was a defining moment in Rwanda's development path. For over 30 years, UNDP has strengthened partnership with the government and people of Rwanda, supporting efforts to recover, rebuild, and imagine a more just and sustainable future.
I saw how Rwanda has been able to grow from the ashes of the genocide to a country that can serve as a model. But I've also seen how UNDP has been strengthening institutions to respond to the needs of the citizens. I've seen how the UNDP support national institutions to build strong systems whereby they leverage technology to address the emerging needs of the people of Rwanda. So I'm really very proud. Throughout those many years, I've seen progress, I've seen milestones being achieved. I'm very happy that myself, I played my role.
All this work has been made possible by the generous support of our partners. Today, UNDP remains a committed ally, working hand in hand with Rwanda on its journey toward resilience, inclusive growth, and lasting development.
Our strength has always been rooted in partnership with governments, civil society, development partners, and the private sector. Over the past 30 years, our achievement will not have been possible without the generous support of our valued partners. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all bilateral and multilateral partners who have stood with Rwanda and UNDP throughout this transformative journey. Your unwavering confidence in Rwanda's potential has been the cornerstone of our collective success. To our development partners who worked with us from the early days of reconstruction, and to those who have joined us along the way, your sustained commitment has enabled us to adapt, to respond to evolving challenges, and to seize new opportunities. Because of your trust in our programming, we have delivered results that matter to the people of Rwanda. As we reflect on Rwanda's remarkable journey, we stand here today to reaffirm our commitment to the country's ambitious vision for the future, a future of prosperity, resilience, and lasting transformation. Together, we will ensure Rwanda's continued relevance in shaping development today and tomorrow. Tirukumwe. Murakoze.
This is the story of UNDP working together with the government of Rwanda to build a prosperous, thriving nation, and it continues.